Broadcasting live and worldwide. Here's Brody Brazil.
I want to say I had a pretty uncommon introduction into the series Game of Thrones because the very first episode I saw was the finale of Season 6. Imagine this, I had no clue what the storylines were, who the characters were. I had no idea what I was watching. Everybody else did. I was just there along for the ride, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I saw enough to be interested enough to want to go back and binge this thing from the start, so that off-season, if you will, I caught up on all 6 seasons so that I was ready to witness and view and enjoy Season 7 in real time. By the way, that's difficult to do when you can't go back and binge. You have to wait weeks in between to watch the shows, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. By the way, this show is typically not the type of show that I normally enjoy. I say that because the type, I'm talking about the magical elements, the fictional elements, the characters coming back from the dead elements. I don't want to give too much away, but you understand what I'm saying. This sort of show usually isn't something that I'm completely into, but for whatever reason, I'm so invested. I am totally looking forward to this Season 8. I wish there were more still to come, but they're saying, what, 6 episodes here, and that each one's going to be a little bit longer, so we're going to have a lot to talk about on a week-to-week basis as this series wraps up on the TV side with HBO. Obviously, the books can have a different ending than what the TV series ends with, so we have so many questions that need answers, and not a lot of time to sort so many things out and figure out where this series concludes with the TV series. What I want to do here is make 6 predictions about Season 8, and I want to view this as sort of a time capsule. I'm going to get some things right. I'm definitely going to get some things wrong, but here I am 2 weeks ahead of the debut of Season 8, and I have some ideas rattling around in my brain. By the way, my wife and I, we have been rewatching seasons, getting closer to 7 so that we can kind of be fully re-caught up again with Season 8 and the start of it, because it has been so long, what, almost about 1.5 years since we've had a brand new episode come out. So I've been studying things from the start again, and because of what I've been studying, I have some predictions of things, again, that we might see here in Season 8. So let me begin with Tyrion Lannister. He dies. But he dies a noble death. This is a character, by the way, one of my favorite fictional characters in a TV series of all time. I mean, just the lines that he has, the way that Peter Dinklage plays this character, just a phenomenal part of Game of Thrones. One of my favorite parts of Game of Thrones is Tyrion Lannister. Whenever it's one of his scenes, like, I just get excited to watch it. But Tyrion Lannister, like I said, has just been against the grain and uphill this entire show, and I think there's going to be some give and take with the end of this program, and good things that happen and bad things that happen. This is not going to be a fan favorite thing, the death of Tyrion Lannister, but like I said, it's going to be a noble death. It'll be to save somebody else or for a specific cause. I don't know what yet, but I just know that he's the type of individual to maybe even sacrifice his own life so somebody else can be better off. So unfortunately, not one that I wanted to predict, but I genuinely feel that way. All right, how about Tyrion's siblings, Jaime and Cersei Lannister? They both die. Not only that, one kills the other. Maybe it's a jealousy thing, maybe it's an anger thing. You know the backstory, right? The brother and sister love affair. They produced some children, including both of their sons turned into kings who are deceased in the show and the storyline. And so I just feel like there's been so much turbulence, so much animosity between those two, despite the fact that they had an interesting relationship. I just think that they will both not make it to the end of the series. And like I said, crazy enough, one's going to kill the other. If Cersei Lannister gains any power, let's not forget who the Kingslayer is. I know she would be the queen, but let's not forget who the Kingslayer is. My third prediction is that one character we thought was gone was either not dead or comes back from the dead. King Joffrey, Khal Drogo, Littlefinger, Ygritte. I don't know. There's a lot of fan favorite characters I could see coming back somehow, some way. Maybe somebody dies in season 8 and comes back an episode later. We've seen it before, right? And I wouldn't put it past anybody to see it again. Prediction number 4. Well, maybe this is less of a prediction because there's no solid evidence here, but the Stark girls, Arya and Sansa Stark. What happens to them? They live, is what I think happens. In fact, they live, they reunite, they get on the same page, and they have a much closer bond and relationship. Clearly, their two paths have separated widely. Arya has gotten into some things, so has Sansa, but in different ways, and I think that they're going to merge into a similar life and lifestyle in close proximity together. So I think as we see Season 8 start to wrap up, it'll be clear that they are very much back together again as close siblings. Number 5. Again, this is kind of a vague prediction, but something I think will hold true. This series will offer us a cliffhanger that causes conversation and controversy, and it's going to have people talking. Now, I don't know if this is going to happen in, let's say, Season 8, Episode 6, which we're thinking is the finale, or if it happens an episode or two earlier, but some point in Season 8, there's going to be the ultimate cliffhanger, the ultimate thing that you and I might still be talking about 3 or 4 years down the road. Whatever happened to blank? How did this exactly end blank? There's going to be a cliffhanger. Like any good series offers you something. Remember the end of The Sopranos? How it just cut to black and everybody said, well, what? You skipped the ending. How does it end? It's up to your imagination. I feel like something similar might happen there with Game of Thrones. Again, the cliffhanger that causes conversation. And then the last prediction here for Season 8 is that Jon Snow and Daenerys Targaryen, they both live. Not only do they both live, but they go on to rule separately. Not together, and at the end of, obviously, Season 7, we saw them come together for the first time, but I think Season 8 is going to prove that they will probably distance themselves. They come from, well, essentially different places, but I think that they're going to both survive. Again, these are fan favorite characters. I think they're sticking around. I think they're going to both make it till the end, and I think they are going to be the ultimate prosperous characters out of this series. I was also thinking about doing kind of a quick lightning round on all the characters that are still alive and going, you know, they'll survive, they won't, they'll survive, they won't. That would take too much time. By the way, this series, how many characters does it really have? I feel like 40 main characters and maybe another like 50 sub-characters. It has been hard at points to keep up with. So again, I can't really get to everybody here, but those are my 6 main points. What I think will probably happen to end the series Game of Thrones. Let me know what you think. I appreciate your comments down below if you're watching on the YouTube video. On that note, by the way, you can find me on all forms of social media, including Twitter if you're a sports fan during A's and Sharks games. I'm a heavy user on there. On Instagram, I've been working a lot lately to pump out some great content for the gram. Don't forget my podcast. I put that out a couple times a week. It's available on iTunes, Google Play, and Spotify. And then right here on the YouTube channel, thumbs up or subscribe if you've enjoyed this material. I appreciate you sticking around this long, and until next time, I'm Brody Brazil, and yes, that is my real name.